Hi, this is Dave Daly with KeizerTV.com. We're here today at the Keizer Community Center. We're talking today with Kevin Dial. He's retiring this week for many decades with our Oregon National Guard. And Kevin, we're going to talk in this interview about volunteerism. And yes, we want to hear about your culmination about serving our state and our country as a representative and working with the National Guard, but also how that translates to Keizer. You know, you called Keizer your home at the end of those days. And what does Keizer mean to you now that there's this new chapter of retirement? And what can we tell our other Keizer citizens about the fabric of Keizer volunteerism?
Well, David, it's pretty simple. There's no better place to be plugged into and a part of than Keizer, Oregon. Have lived here since 2006. I actually lived across the freeway over in northeast Salem, and it was just too far from everything we did. Everything we did is in Keizer, and 10 minutes was too long and too far to drive. So we moved into Keizer. Also, the schools, the truly amazing schools here in the city of Keizer. Plus, again, our faith organization lives here and works here and volunteers here. And they got us involved early on in the Irish Festival. And right then, I was just kind of a worker bee. And over the years, working with Mr. Wallery, Miss Deeker, and then now Danielle Bethel, been able to step up and actually participate as a director head for the logistics team as they get ready for Irish Festival. So, you know, when we look at Keizer, I look at the people that are here and I say, these are my family. These are the people that I want to be around.
Well, we just want to extend to you, and everyone comment below where you've seen Kevin out in the Keizer community. The eclipse of 2017, he was out there at the break of dawn. And please comment below of a great story you have about Kevin and his leadership, his volunteerism, his example to our three monikers here in Keizer of pride, spirit, and volunteerism. And I know there are others who may have inspired you as you're out in these relationships. Share with us some other Keizerites who just draw you in as this camaraderie as part of this community.
So there was a previous mayor here for the city of Keizer that was a retired colonel from the Oregon Army National Guard. And he actually got me involved first when we built the gazebo that's right ahead of us. I was actually part of the National Guard team that came out and did the groundwork and laid that in there and built that. You know, we also built the skate park and some of those other things. So when I look at my involvement in Keizer, it really has had years to develop, and living here was just a natural extension of that. So, you know, I have a very big pride in this community of who the people are that live here. General Hokanson also was, he's now a 3-star back in National Guard Bureau. Another resident of Keizer that was very plugged in, involved in the church here in St. Ed's, and really got me involved in youth that was working here too. So a lot of great soldiers live in this community. And then I got to work with Christine through the Chamber of Commerce. That was truly an amazing event. She did a lot of great stuff getting the Irish Festival going. And then she handed me off to Danielle, and working with Danielle and Mr. White and Mr. Wallery. Truly a great experience. Those are my Keizer family members that I can stick a name to.
Yeah, we have, you know, such a rich legacy, being a young city, but from the Bowers to our other families that have been here for really multiple decades. It's really a wonderful thing to build on. But, you know, being a younger civic community, we put 800 volunteers together to build the big toy. Right. I don't know a lot of other communities, pound for pound, who could amass that amount of volunteerism to come together for something for our kids. And so I just want to express to you, myself, thank you very much for you and your service to our country, to our community, to our state. You know, I want to also acknowledge we've got 2 teams, I believe, of Oregon National Guardsmen in Puerto Rico. Are these comrades of yours, and what do you know what they're doing?
So they are doing support missions. I know the one that I directly am a friend with, Lieutenant Colonel Middlebach. She's over there doing logistics and payment processing. Again, the art of rebuilding a country requires experts. Wow. And she is an expert in making sure money is spent correctly, appropriately, and that it's not wasted. So she's part of that team that's over there with the Oregon Army National Guard.
Well, and I think that the Guard wears so many hats. It's amazing, like you're talking about, where there's a need, they fill the need. And I think that it's from morning to night, every age group, from food, water, shelter, electronics. It's an amazing resource that they're making us proud. But you've been part of that brotherhood and sisterhood. And, you and I have talked about the great option that the Guard sometimes fills for a family as well. And I can put the website online if you want to see about an option that the Guard could help you. You've mentioned to me a number of times how it's just it fills a spot financially, education wise, for a lot of people that in this day and age where it's demanded more education, more experience, it could really fit the bill. Share with our audiences quickly how the Guard has helped you and you've seen it help others.
So the first would be it's at www.nationalguard.com, and the benefit of the Guard, my first 14 years in the National Guard, I came out of the Marines and into the Guard, and they were part-time. I was doing it on 1-2 weekends a month, and during that time, we started having a family, my wife and I, and that was what kept her able to really not need to work. Wow. I was able to make the ends meet with the National Guard. They also, the educational requirements and the skills that they train, they do pay for college in a lot of fashions and different manners depending on how you come in and what your job is. Plus, they get training. And I know all of my boys are currently in the National Guard, and a couple of my foster boys are in the National Guard. And they've got some skill sets now that they've learned during their training that they will be able to take and directly apply to civilian careers.
Yeah.
And again, having a secret clearance and being able to say I'm a reputable citizen, it's a great thing for an employer to see, say, I'll hire you just because you have the skills. I've seen you demonstrate them.
Yeah. And, it's competitive job market. And again, consider it as an option. But in closing for this interview, I just want to acknowledge you, Kevin. And I know your days of volunteering aren't over. Your phone's going to only ring more. But at this stage of your life, congratulations on an amazing career. You make Keizer proud statewide for having all the places you could live within those offices here in Mid-Willamette Valley. You chose Keizer, but we're glad that you call Keizer home. And you're making up, we said before this interview, Keizer's not these buildings behind us. It's the fabric of the people, the neighbors who walk out and engage each other. Would you agree?
I would. And when you say the neighbors, when I look at the city council, those are my friends too. We're not a city that's so far above the local population. Kathy Clark, I consider her a friend. I've had her kids in my youth group. Amy Ryan, Kim Freeman, Marlene Parsons. All those people are people that I know that if I needed something, I could call. If I see them on the street, I know who they are. I might even get a hug once in a while.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the true spirit of being in a community, because we all pay taxes. It all's got to handle infrastructure, but relationships mean something in this town. And we are thankful that you're a big, big relationships to me and many people. So thank you, Kevin. Please express to your wife as well.
I will.
There's sacrifices family makes for you to be where you've had to be. And we also want to acknowledge your wife for supporting you, being there for you. It takes a strong family behind you for these may seem individual successes, but they're really a network behind you.
It's a team. Danielle steps up and does it right, and she keeps the house going when I'm not there. That's for sure.
Well, we appreciate your time again, Kevin. Thanks for talking with us. And for more great stories here in Keizer, visit keizertv.com. Thank you.